Who wants to do a clap? All right.
And we're underway.
We're back,
Joe Wehbe.
back in the podcast. So we got Dom here today, and I prepared a very special bio about Dom.
Did you?
To introduce him.
You got to do the intro, mate.
Very long, very detailed. Where is it? Dom likes running. So Dom and Luke are with the Chiefs podcast co-hosts. So that's Luke's actual podcast.
Yep.
And
you're going to put a link in the
there'll be links
here?
everywhere. There'll be a link in the description.
Good.
Just give it a give it a boost. And but we also all went to school together.
Yes.
I was there in year 7. I don't know when they started. And so it's nice, very wholesome to have everyone. You both started year 7, or when are you going to read?
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. I was like, come on, mate. You should.
I don't know if you two are year 5 or not. Yeah, no. So
okay.
We've known each other a long time, and I think Dom was an early supporter of this podcast too. So it's good to have him on, have a bit of a yarn and all that. I thought I'd start off with just a light-hearted few questions because I did some research.
You've prepared something.
Yeah, I thought, we don't always have visitors.
Actually, sorry, I take that back. You're normally well prepared.
Am I? That's actually very nice of you to say.
You come with topics and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you got to talk about something.
Why did you start getting polite all of a sudden?
Well, Dom, because we're recording.
I think Dom brings out a much better side in Luke. I think that's a theme that
I
might
don't know.
emerge.
That depends. You probably haven't listened to much of our podcast.
I have. I just hear you being you, and then Dom's like the anchor.
He's trying to reel it in. Come on,
the voice of reason. So I thought I'd start light, but I did prepare a few interesting things to run by Dom. So Dom, you spend a lot of time running, but do you ever ask what you're running from?
People ask this question and it's like, shut up.
Okay.
It's way too much, yeah, definitely.
Dom. Oh, Luke, you can answer this too.
Oh, he didn't answer. I was just sorry. I
assume you don't know, otherwise you guys would stop running. That's true. That's the beauty of it, right? Some of these might be rhetorical. Either of you can answer this because you're both very into running. With the Chiefs is a running podcast. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
That's important context.
That is.
Okay. What's the most random thing you think about when you run? Because you run such long distances. So what goes through the head, and is there anything?
It's pretty similar.
Is there anything in there that shouldn't be there?
It's pretty similar to like if you're working or if you're kind of the same like rambling.
So do you think about like, oh shit, I should forgot to do the laundry or something like that?
Yeah. It depends. I think depends what point of the run you're in. If it's
the middle
intense,
bit, I'm assuming.
you start to just be like,
if it's
you
tense.
just want to stop after. But other than that, if it's comfortable, you kind of, well, me at least, you kind of like just thinking about what you'd think if you weren't running really quickly.
So it's no different. Yeah. Dom, anything to add?
Yeah, I think sometimes if you take your phone running, you get a phone call from someone. That can throw you off a bit.
Do you answer? I'm just going to call him every time I think he's running and see if he answers.
Don't call him in the morning.
Don't call in the morning, yeah. Yeah. Nike's motto is just do it. What's your motto?
What fucking questions are these?
It's inside. It's a well thought of question. I gave you a prompt. Luke, do you have a motto?
I have a motto. I don't have a motto. What are you talking about?
You don't have a motto? My motto is open doors for others,
just
right?
Get out the door.
Get out the door?
There's the saying that Dad used to say to us, there's only 2 times in life, do it now and too late.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So
that's good.
I think about that a lot actually.
So it's useful.
Yeah.
You should pitch it to Nike.
Yeah.
It sounds better than it adds a layer to just do it. Just do it's a bit oversimplified.
It's true.
Are you looking at something?
I've got my motto here.
Okay.
You do.
Share your motto too.
Did he ask you what?
Well, I just feel like, we're all talking about mottos, you know.
Well, Oscar has to feel
I'm kidding.
Go, Oscar. What's your motto?
Am I rich yet? I don't need to be. Just checking. Maybe I'll read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and check again.
That's his Instagram bio. That's his Instagram bio for maybe 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, something like that. I've gotten 3 questions about it so far.
Only 3.
What were the questions?
And it's very contextual.
What's going on?
What's
with
going
your
on?
bio?
What's this? What does this mean?
There's a lot of context behind that bio, so if it doesn't make sense, listeners or viewers, don't be alarmed.
Had to be there.
Also, shout out to the boot glass we have for Dom in the camera.
true.
You won't be able to see this on the audio only, but we found this, and I thought we don't give this to Luke, but we give it to Dom when he comes in. So it's Dom's boot glass filled with water. We are processing a request to get a coffee machine here and coffee, but
I would suggest you expedite that.
You imagine Luke on more coffee than he is in these conversations. Scary thought.
It's true. It's not great.
Okay.
I'm quite well caffeinated right now.
Yeah. So did you have a motto, Luke?
I'm glad you circled back to that, actually. Yeah. My motto is... I don't have a motto, actually, but
you're glad we circled back to it.
Just Do It's a good one, actually.
Just do it.
They kind of nailed that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like with running, at least, when you get some momentum, it gets easier and easier. So that's good.
So that's your motto?
That's not my motto.
It's going to get easier.
That's just an offhand comment.
Okay. All right. So Luke, we're gonna you can keep thinking about the motto thing. If there's a
motto,
just a catchy tag.
Smile and wave.
Joe Wehbe, what's your motto?
I'd say
open doors for others.
Open doors for
I know
others.
what our motto is. It's stay strong
and stay fast.
Yeah.
There, that's my motto.
If you think about it, actually teach that.
Stay strong and stay fast.
It took you a while to get on. Okay.
Thanks.
Moving on. You can, but either of you can answer this question. Oscar, you can answer this question too.
Food is the most ridiculous thing to drink from.
I just wanted to throw people off a bit. That's what the boot would achieve. That. How many kilometers do you think you've run over the course of your life?
Open Strava. Just have a look.
Does it tell you the total?
It does, yeah.
Strava is a running app. It's like the closest thing there exists to a social media for running, basically. It's my understanding of Strava.
Dom, what do you got for all time?
And Dom in particular is very known for his Strava activity because he's very known for his running.
What's yours, Dom?
Where's the all time?
When did you start
while we figure this out?
You go into activities, profile, bottom right.
Oh, all time. Here we go.
There you go.
All time.
33,000
kilometers. That's a lot.
3,000 kilometers.
That's a lot of kilometers.
I wonder what that's equivalent. Osk, what do you think? Like, for example, if you could look up, like, what's the distance across Australia or something like that? Like, how could we put that into like?
Oh, Australia's way less than that. I'm pretty sure.
Less?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Australia's like 4,000.
I'd love to find like what that distance is equivalent to.
Okay.
I'm asking you to be Jamie for a sec.
Like, what's the circumference of the world?
Isn't it?
We got to.
Not information I have readily available.
No, we got a fact checker.
I'm normally talking about self-awareness.
You're going to be going way outside your lane.
Earth's circumference is 40,000 kilometers.
Oh, so not
Wow, not far off.
You're getting
But
there. So
excuse me.
I'm thinking YouTube thumbnail for this episode: man who almost ran the circumference of the globe.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. No, but with school and cross country and stuff like that, you probably have.
Yeah,
Because you're not on Strava.
true. Yeah.
True.
Luke, do you have
Me? I'm glad you circled back again. I've been waiting. 20,649.
That's decent.
You're not far off.
Luke.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh man, because Luke, we'll get into this a bit later, but Luke hasn't been running quite as long as Dom.
No.
But so that's very, very impressive. Actually, that's a genuine, non-ironic compliment
Thank you.
I've given.
Appreciate
you.
that.
Okay. There's no sass behind that at all. I
I
mean,
have to qualify it though.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Okay.
Any more stats you need?
No, we can come
got-
back to it if we have time.
We've got personal bests
won't.
here. We've got 5K PB, 10K PB,
Just pull out his microphone.
half marathon PB,
Just pull out his
marathon
microphone. Just
PB.
pull out his microphone.
Also got best efforts as well. So I can tell you
That's
best
like the
efforts.
blue ribbon they used to give me
Over
for
the mile.
participating in the.
No.
Athletics
That's
Carnival.
not. No, it's not. It's
Your best ever runs.
yeah.
That's fascinating. I'd love to hear more about that time, maybe over coffee or nothing. So,
Moving on.
moving on.
We'll circle back to that.
So this is
circle back to good
something we can get into a bit more about Dom, but Dom is always very kind of very calm, I'd say. Often seems calm. So this question, Dom, have you ever been angry? If so, what did Luke do to set you off?
Ask him to pay for anything.
Zing.
Ask him to pay for something.
Is there a situation where you regularly get angry?
Angry? Not particularly.
So, for example, you remind me a lot of my brother Mitchell.
Yeah.
Who you might, I don't know. Yeah, you've met Mitchell. So I always think you two have a lot in common, and you're both engineers actually, which is funny. But Mitchell is very like calm, you know, easygoing, man of few words very often, you know, except there's a few situations where he's actually the opposite, and he's actually the most aggressive person I know, which is very funny. It's a side not many people see. Driving is the worst.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was about to say that.
Oh, so is that you too?
Well, not typically, but just recently, like traveling overseas, you come off a plane in an airport in a foreign country, and then you and I don't know, me and my girlfriend had to drive at the time, and I guess your mental state is already a bit sort of frazzled, and then you're doing this task, which is again kind of challenging and stressful. So yeah, that was probably where it got the most heated, and I found myself getting a bit more angry and into a mental state that I'm not really
accustomed to.
Yeah.
Oh, he's honest. And how does your anger express itself? Do you swear? These are just things I can't picture you, because we'd have known Dom since 2007. All right, so it's like 16 years. It's hard to picture him angry in all that time. So I'm actually very fascinated.
Yeah.
Or is just the
a little bit strong, a lot of yeah.
Okay.
And
very expressive.
Very much like I'm right kind of thing. Like you just stop.
So you're human.
Kind of accepting other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Like it's my way.
We're close to suggestions.
Yeah.
It is funny you say that, because when I was recently in Vietnam and so many things were going wrong on my trip, as we talked about a little bit when you got back from yours, I find that all the trying to be calm and stoic stuff is absolutely 100% out the window. And there is nothing that helps. I could have Eckhart Tolle on one side and Sadhguru on the other trying to talk me down, and I'd have no chance of it's just human. There's some, especially when I think you're out of your comfort zone or routine or whatever, foreign place. It always just, as we know from our trip we went on together, Luke.
Oh yeah.
There's
actually, you made me quite angry.
It's a real. I did. Surprise.
How could he book something that's?
What was it? How many books?
No, how could he book?
Oh, how could I book? Yeah. And we toured.
That has no one there.
Yes, that's what I booked. Where's a place that has no one there?
No, you always look for someone to blame when something goes wrong. It's never me.
That's why it never helps to be the organizer.
Yeah.
Funny story. I think we were on that same trip, Luke.
Yeah.
I believe this was there. Yeah. And we were in Budapest, and everyone wanted to go out one night. And so I had that phone plan. So I had data. I had Vodafone, like the roaming. So I was able to look stuff up on Google Maps. So they put in a place they wanted to go, and I was the guy directing everyone because I had the maps, right? So I lead everyone there. We get there, and then the bouncers are really nice to us and everything like that. And Dan, our other mate's going, "Oh, these people are really nice here, not like, nightclubs back home and things like that." And then we go in, and there's just very well-shaven, well-presented guys everywhere. And it turns out it was a gay bar. We didn't realise till we paid our €10 entry and walked in. And so everyone turns on me, going, "Oh, Joe brought us to a gay bar." And I go, "No, Joe did the direct," but you get caught with the blame because you're the one directing. Sometimes it just doesn't pay to be pay to be a hero. But in saying that, we had a great night. So
How great?
Not that great. Yeah.
I have more to add in terms of what makes Dom quite upset.
Yeah.
If I can.
Yeah.
Paying for things.
No. We've already been through that. Remember this game called golf?
Oh, golf. Yeah.
So that's another one like driving,
Big
where
one. Big one.
You don't judge anyone for whatever they do on the golf course in terms of
No,
anger.
you don't. Yeah, actually, it's more tennis for me, to be honest.
Tennis is also very frustrating.
Scott used to hit the ball like he had no.
He just played the angles.
He played the angles. I would think like I had a crazy forehand. Like,
he's not trying to hit a winner.
Very stylish, and Scott would just like
he was battle of attrition.
One position, just like. And he just absolutely annihilate me.
Clinical.
So that teaches Scott. You style. Means nothing sometimes.
I love it. Okay. Oprah Winfrey is quoted as saying, "Running is the greatest metaphor for life because you get out of it what you put into it." Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's like another motto. I'm always reminded of the Nutri-Grain ad. Their motto is like you only get out what you put in.
Yep.
Which is, I don't know, another good saying. I guess Oprah.
But the thing I thought of when I read that Oprah one was, how much does she run?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. And secondly, I thought about her giving away all the cars, and I wondered what people put in to get the cars as well. So, it's also, I don't know, it's just maybe she always comes out with good quotes though. So thank you,
I think
Oprah.
Generally that rule is pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like, as in, running is one of those things where you see the inputs very clearly, and then you can see the outputs.
It's not like the
well.
ref. It's not like the ref can sway the outcome. There is no ref, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's not
It's
like there's not.
It's pure.
There's quite a few variables you can control somewhat, and then you put in some work, and then you try.
Yeah,
and
but there's not
improve.
too much like outside factors interfering with
Yeah.
your
it's
individual
usually-
performance.
Yeah.
They don't
Very-
affect it. If there's weather, the weather affects everyone. Yeah, there's no calls, and it's not like, soccer, for example, is the opposite, where there's so much. Anyway, I think it makes sense. Oscar, what do you put into life? And are you getting it back?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it back right now.
Yeah, that's it. I just, I was finding interesting quotes. I don't know who this is, but Sarah Condor once said, "Remember, the feeling you get from a good run is far better the feeling you get from sitting around wishing you were running." But I thought, does it compare to the feeling of putting a good run on Strava? That'd probably be the top of the lot.
No, that just sort of is a good compliment to the run.
Good compliments to the run?
Yeah, putting on Strava. You got,
It's just the cherry
I don't
on
know how
top.
much I'd run if I didn't have Strava, to be honest. Let's be real.
You know what, Luke? You get points for honesty. I told Oscar we're going to get a whiteboard in, and then we're going to start awarding points for demonstrating self-awareness, but we can also do points for honesty.
Okay.
And we can tally it over time, and I think, I think that'd be a good idea. I had one here. This is a bit more out there. Nelson Mandela's book is called The Long Walk to Freedom. Do you think he should have run to freedom? Then it would have been so long. We'll just leave that one for the crickets.
That one's for the viewers. Good one, Joe. Really good one.
They say the only bad run is the one that didn't happen. But I disagree. I love all the runs that don't happen. That's not really a question. That was just me making a comment.
I disagree.
You disagree?
No,
Yeah.
it's all good.
So, is there a point where you were basically always just a runner, as far as you could tell?
Pretty much.
Primary school or something?
Yeah, primary school was pretty into it. Then coming into high school, stopped running a little bit. I think I went to like one athletics group session.
Yep.
And found it too intimidating. Was like, this
really?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, wow.
I was in year 7. Yeah, there's all these big kids here, like doing
big
stuff.
kids.
There was like that super intimidating athletics coordinator. I can't remember his name.
At our school?
Yeah.
Who used to do it? I know what you're talking about.
moved
They
to
were
like another school and
they were
had, like,
really
a hard
into
time or
it.
something.
Is it
Yeah.
Giuffre?
Yeah, I think it was.
He was scary.
He was scary.
in our house. Remember, Mr. Giuffre?
Yeah.
He had kind of curly hair.
Yeah.
Really dark skin.
Very shouty.
Yeah, he's very shouty.
So yeah,
He was a nice guy though, but he was full on.
yeah, like
Yeah,
he
was
was.
a good human being, but he
Yeah,
was
like
full on.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he's a great person,
Probably great for athletics.
but
For the people
yeah,
that
being
have
like a
hairs on their chest. Yeah.
12, 13-year-old kid,
Yeah.
getting shouted at in like a big group, I was like, oh yeah, don't really want to do.
Maybe not.
This. Yeah.
But then as Luke says, as Luke says, you circled back.
Yeah,
Circle
back. And got back into it like year 11, year 12.
And Luke's glad that you circled that.
I'm very glad. Even though I circled back to enter this equation a bit later, but anyway.
Yeah, Luke circled a few more loops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't need to say that.
And yeah, since then we've always been running like a little bit.
I'd say you definitely kicked on from then, as far as I remember. And it's powerful. So talk to me about how, because you're into surfing and you're very sporty, I know, and you're into lots of things. But obviously running has sort of taken the limelight over the years. Yeah. And apart from like the obvious, like obviously it keeps you healthy and all that, but what's the impact been of running? How does it impact your life? Because it's a big thing for a lot of people. Yeah. The running is not just about running at all, as we know from 72 episodes, I think, of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stories, and it's just interesting on your podcast, all the different stories people have in their relationship with running. So with you, what's the impact been maybe over time?
I think
to other areas.
Yeah, having that like discipline in one area and seeing yourself succeed in one area kind of, I don't know, it does sort of translate to other areas. Like it's like, I don't know, if I know how to work hard in this one thing, maybe it translates somewhat to something else. But I think that also just like the social connections and yeah, it's good for your health. Yeah. So yeah, overall, definitely positive benefits from running.
Yeah, lots of positives.
Yeah, not too sure how to answer that one. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I think people notice it about you, and that you have that. You just seem to have that concentration and discipline.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you really kicked on. Like, I don't know, where would you have been? Did you win like the long distance? Like what did we do at school? Like the 3K or whatever it was?
Yeah, I know. I never
got. Did you win those?
Not
you
really.
Were just up there.
Yeah, just up there. But I don't think I ever like really kind of trained properly for it. Like I was doing other sports and I think surfing was like the main thing that I was interested in.
Yep.
So I'd rather be kind of focusing all my energy on that. But yeah, still went okay.
I remember after one summer holidays, Dom came back and he had, I don't know if it's year 11 or 12, he had blonde like streaks in his hair.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He had full blonde streaks and we're like, this is how I remember it. You can clarify. This is your chance to finally set the record straight. Everyone's like, oh, Dom dyed his hair, got streaks in his hair. And Dom was like, nah, it's from surfing. It's from the sun. Yeah. Is that still your answer?
Yeah, 100%.
Dom's not the kind of guy that would dye his hair. I'm sorry.
That's why we're all so surprised that he dyed his hair.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of surfing.
It was a lot of surfing, yeah. But yeah, surfing it's completely different to running. Like you just do it to have fun. Like there's no point to it really. Whereas like running, there's always like a goal and a purpose, and you're trying to improve and get better. Whereas I guess surfing's
hard for surfing to be goal directed.
Yeah.
Apart from the goal of standing up on the board, which is still, for me, work in progress. Yeah. Anyway, we won't talk about that.
It's more creative, I guess. You're just doing it for the fun of it, really.
Yeah. I mean, some people running is a bit more casual, but maybe not as much for you two. You two weapons. Weapons of mass destruction.
Why do you think running stuck with you? Like obviously, it's been pretty consistent since you started at school, realistically. Yeah. Oh, actually, you had a bit of a break, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's been like a little bit up and down, I guess. Like going through those early years, everyone's kind of partying and all of that. And I tried to keep running a little bit, but it kind of slipped by the wayside. But yeah, I've always like set a goal and then tried to go and do it with running most of the time. But I think the further on I get, the more I'm starting to realize that you don't just have to run because you want to achieve something. Like you can just do it for the fun of it. And at the end of the day, like there's no real money or massive sort of success that you can get from running. It's all just personal achievement, really. So like, why not just do it for the fun of it?
From the outside looking in, because I know you guys are involved in various running communities, formal and informal. and the culture, and I observe the culture of running from the outside because I'm not on the inside. But it does look like that thing for a lot of people that is, it's something in their life. There can be so much value to having something in your life, I think, that is not, doesn't have any kind of potential professional, career, money, success, upside. And that it can be a pursuit that you make a huge devotion to that doesn't have any of those, is not likely to filter into any of those boxes, let's say. There's a value, because I think you get so much out of that curiosity around why am I so driven to do this thing? But also the lack of curiosity, like the fact that it is just so enjoyable to do something like that for its own sake, for the personal achievement, for a few, there's a few little, for the Strava.
Yeah.
Luke, that's for you.
Mate, it's essential in my view, but
yeah, the Strava. You're talking about the Strava, right? Not the running.
It's not. Both seem to be at the moment, but
they're kind of interrelated, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just seems such a healthy thing. I know when I have sport, because I've gone through periods where, I've always been sporty, but not as much running as a focus. But the thing, the times when, like, I've been trying to work hard or whatever, sometimes you start negotiating those things, or I do. You might have been more consistent with running, but you start negotiating, do I have time for, touch footy or soccer or something like that. But I find when I am like playing those things, it does just, like a team sport or something like that, it does just bring a lot of balance. It really just takes the stress out of so much. It's almost like your body looks at how you allocate your time, your body, your mind or something. And it's looking at you going, if I've got time to allocate to soccer or running, whatever, things are okay. And it kind of works like bottom up. So by bottom up, I mean what you do impacts how you think. Top down is kind of like you're thinking something, then you do it. And so I just find it fascinating personally, that dynamic, that just putting, and obviously because it's social as well, you sort of see people like our soccer team, which I think you filled in a couple of times when we were desperate, the fast running Dom, back when you had the long hair, that's right, just bobbing up the pitch. The guys in that team who are largely from our year at school, and Luke played for a while, but he dogged it. But anyway.
Yeah. Didn't want to get injured, or I no longer wanted to get yelled at for not being able to run
not
back.
Tracking back.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that now. So.
You probably yell at me.
Yeah. Go, come on. Yeah.
There's just
I tried every now and then to yell.
There's no way
Joe,
you'd stay in touch.
There's
just no way you'd stay in touch with all those people. Yeah, I do get yelled at every now and then, but normally
the ratio is
I don't take it. Well,
different.
not just that, I don't take it lying down, so it ends up being a problem for us.
Yeah.
Pointed out what I'm obviously doing wrong. But like Dom said, in the moment, not open for opinions. Read my face.
That's true. Add that to the anger list for yourself.
Yeah. Hey, we've got quite a list racking up here. Don't worry. Points for self-awareness, though. I can talk about it.
Yeah. Problem. True. Plus one for self-awareness as well.
So yeah, it's just it's just running, or it's just surfing, or it's just soccer, or whatever. But it's very valuable. And the other thing, and maybe we can transition a bit to Luke. I mean, we don't have to just talk about running. There's much more to you than running, but it's obviously an interesting place to start. But we can transition over to Luke a bit too here, because you came to running in a very different way and time. And I'd love to emphasize, it'd be my joy to emphasize that at school Luke was not at all known
for running,
for athleticism.
No, not at all. I was quite...
You're a good soccer player.
Yeah,
I remember that. So you had some street cred in that respect.
Yeah,
handy at tennis.
But handy at tennis. Oh yeah, for sure. Except when he's versing Scott, unfortunately. Which I'm
That's
sure.
the same face as like when we talk about golf, and I'm pumping you in golf, just like golf, tennis, Scott, tennis.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, I don't know if I would have beat you in a long distance run at school, for example, but it was like you were not known for it at all.
No,
whatsoever.
I never did it at school.
Not even close. No. Not slightly. Not a bit.
No.
Never.
I used to hate even warming up at soccer, for example. I'd be like, oh God, this is running. Or like I'd look at people doing cross country and I'd be like, what are they doing?
This is why it's so remarkable to me, because he was literally the most apathetic kind of person in some of these ways. No, I'm setting you up for your achievements after.
Thank you.
You're always grumpy. You know, you're like, oh,
Yeah, I used to hate.
That's why I yelled at you so much in soccer.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted all the glory, just score all the goals, and that's it.
You did score the goals.
I did.
We need those goals back. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So,
running.
Go to you, and when, obviously I had something to do with this guy, but go to yourself and when and why you start to get into running somehow.
When and why? I think I was at uni. I was working part-time. I was not engaging in the healthiest of activities. It's probably drinking like quite a lot, like partying quite a lot as well. Not to say that I fully regret everything, but like when the volume of partying gets to a certain point, it's like starts to impact your life negatively. And I think I actually don't know why I don't know. Maybe like we hadn't been in touch, like I hadn't been in touch with Dom for a while and we wanted to catch up, but for some reason I was always like, for a little bit before, I was running on and off, like sort of just because I was into a lot of self-help at that time, and like a lot of that crosses over with exercise. So it was kind of like, that's one good thing to do, and I tried to get into it.
That's why you're not happy. You're not exercising.
Yeah.
You gotta get out there. You gotta get out there.
There was a Tony Robbins like thing that like suggested you do exercise and like a bunch of different like mindset stuff. And when I was early on, I remember like it was an emphasis on getting up early. And one of the guys I was working with at the time, not at JB, this was like much previously. And we got up. I got up at like 4:30 in the morning. And I was like, this is literally the worst thing ever. Like you just don't want to get up. It wasn't a good entry point into it. But for that time, I reckon it was, I don't know the exact timing, but for maybe like 1 or 2 years when we got back from Europe. When was that? 2016. So even then I was... Yeah, you were not a running machine there. No, but like
That's right. I remember running through the streets in Queen City.
Yeah, we saw Dom on that trip.
Yeah.
It's got to be a low point.
No, we've done.
I always wonder how do I ever manage to take myself so seriously when I've done stuff like that and been involved with people like this.
Yeah, 100%. Geez, you're gonna get the long-winded answer here, aren't you?
That's fine. No. It's a long form podcast. Where was I up to?
Yeah, so self-help and running sort of mixed in for a while, but I didn't really take it too seriously. I kind of just used it as like a performance thing or to make myself feel better. But then I don't know, messaged Dom randomly once. We went for a run, and then Dom had always been running like you were talking about in a more structured way, and you know, Dom started suggesting runner things like let's do a session or you know, I don't know, just the frequency went up a little bit. And then I saw some of Dom's times of like half marathon PBs that he's run. I'm like, what? They're like, wow. Yeah, literally. I didn't know. I remember looking at the pace on I don't know. Did you run Canberra or something ages ago? I remember seeing you average like 3:40s for a half marathon. And at the time I was like running 5:30 pace and being like, that's not possible.
So what does 5:30 pace mean?
5:40 per kilometre, minutes per kilometre. Yeah.
Great.
And he's averaging 3 minutes 40 per kilometre over a half marathon.
Significantly faster.
Yeah. Which is, for anyone that doesn't run,
very good.
Is quite fast. But then
Congratulations.
Yeah. So there was always that thing of, I don't know, could be cool to like get into this and actually like try and get better at it. And then I got a taste for like the structure of it and the somewhat like the discipline and the dedication you had to put to it to improve. I got a taste of that, and it sort of made me feel like I was moving in the right direction, away from some sort of behaviors that weren't great at the time.
Like smoking, drinking.
I was smoking
out.
at that time, and going out sort of like, I don't know, 2-3 nights a week ish, depending on the week. So
depending on what kind of was up
general,
to.
yeah, just general partying. I mean, realistically, it was fun, but it really has a short, like, it just
diminishing return.
It's not sustainable, and it's like
it's like the same night on repeat.
Yeah.
You do it once, you've done it 10 times.
Yeah.
Note to you, young Oscar.
I think I'm about to live that today.
It's good in moderation, though.
In moderation, and you have those big nights where you're like, it's fun to look back on.
Like, just stay a bit in camera a bit more.
Sorry. I thought you were going to tell me to stay.
No, I was just checking because I know you have a tendency to wander.
Yes.
In life, on the camera.
And then we got into it. There was a race that we chose to do, which is the Sun Run, which is a run in February, and Adrian as well, one of our friends, got into it, and we all used that as sort of like a springboard to be competitive and train and got into it. And I was pretty much training for that race, seeing like what gets put in to like prepare for a race, kind of had me hooked. And I've been sort of just on repeat.
What had you hooked, do you think? Is it something you can identify?
Well, you've always got, realistically, if you choose to do a race, like you've always got that race in the back of your mind, so it gives you a bit of structure.
You're aiming for,
yeah, it gives you a bit of structure. And then like daily you have to force yourself to do that little bit of exercise, which kind of makes you feel good. So then you like, it's almost addictive in a way, but it's like reinforcing, like positively reinforcing, whereas like obviously the drinking and the smoking, not so much. Like you get a little bit of it's like addictive, but then after you're like, oh, I need to get my shit together. Yeah. Running's kind of, for me, is like a bit of the opposite, where it's like, yeah, I'm happy I did that run sort of thing.
You can kind of like feel yourself getting fitter as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can see the change, like you're a faster person than you were a month ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever. But I feel like the running with Smitty at that time was really fun as well. Like I look back on that period, and it's mostly like the most enjoyable stuff was getting up early in the morning and knowing like Smitty's going to be at Meadowbank in the dark.
Yeah, that was so good.
And like
that was a little bit later.
Training together. Or like doing a session together with Smitty. Like we're both going through the pain, doing something that's a little bit hard, but like we've got each other to kind of lean on. And I think that running kind of opens the doors to, or sport in general, like you have those kind of deeper connections with people from doing the activity together. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's another big thing I loved about it, is doing the sessions. Like me, you, Adrian, or whoever else, like it's just, it's going to suck quite a lot during the session, but you kind of just like work through it. And then at the end, you're like, that was good. I enjoyed that. And you kind of like talk about it and stuff like that, which is, it ticks a lot of boxes realistically. Obviously there's times where you can take it too far, where you get too like hyper focused and stuff like that. But these days I struggle to see that line anymore. Like, I don't know.
You struggle to see the line as in you're too intense about it? Well,
there's times where I like need to pull away from it a little bit, but at the same time, like when I'm fully into it, I still feel that like I'm doing something meaningful, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm not, it's hard to be like, okay, I've pushed it too far. Like it's hard to see where that is.
What would entail, do you want to just move slightly down so you're boring?
Sorry.
No, you're right. Just want to make sure I'm capturing it because you're doing the talking.
Giving me too much spotlight, mate.
No, it's good. What are the consequences, let's say, of going too far? What does it look like? You mean you're doing damage to your body? Are you becoming like a running cult member and preaching to everyone that they need running?
I think that's like where the danger comes in. But when you're like,
I had a feeling.
You think your like intense training is like, these people need, doing.
Has he ever tried to get you into running?
No.
You never tried to get me into running?
No.
Well, we just lost causes.
I don't know. What do you,
I don't think it's
don't
too.
know.
You always try to recruit people you have
not preachy, not preachy. Realistically,
I think you told me you used to like tell your mum she had to get the gear or something.
yeah, you need to get running. I tried to, mate. When Mum started running, I was like, you need to get the Garmin watch and you need to get you need to start lapping and check your pace. And she's like, I just want to run.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you reckon, Dom?
Oh, I was just thinking, like, it's easy. You start having expectations for yourself.
Yeah.
And when you can't meet those expectations, that's when it plays with your head a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
That's like
where
everything.
Definitely.
The downside of running, really. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel that in everything. I feel that with writing. So if I'm writing, I'll largely enjoy it most times. But then once you feel like, wow, that passage was really good, but then you have a day where it's going so slow. You without realizing it, you've set like a bar that you're expecting to hit without saying, I'm going to set the bar there. So it just happens. Default factory settings get adjusted. And then you fall short of it and you think, oh, I feel shit.
Yeah.
Nothing's going right in life. The world is a bit emptier today. Then you go, hang on, what's going on? It sounds like a very similar.
Well, that's what
feeling.
happens.
I mean, I'm
when
not just writing's just one example. You feel it in many areas.
Yeah.
So-
when you're in a training block, for example, and your like sessions aren't as fast as you want them to be, or something like that, that's when you can start being like, oh, I'm not improving. I don't know. But then, yeah, just try and focus on what you're doing for that week, and it sort of shortens the time horizon, and just enjoy the training.
Aren't people fascinating how much we get into things
Yeah.
without really seeing it? Like we're just really in it. We're just in there. Yeah. Do you have an equivalent, Oscar? Do you have something that you ever get really into? Oh, gym probably. Yeah.
Gym and football.
Gym is very similar to all these things that
Yeah, gym is,
running,
yeah.
the progress, the
relate
bonds
heavily.
with the gym partner,
Yeah.
the gains, the kgs you're lifting going up.
Yeah.
You can just know that people can see you in
Yeah.
the gym, but you know that they don't really care, but it doesn't matter because you're not doing it for that, but you are.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you see someone after like 4 months of not seeing them, and they're like, "Oh, Oscar,
There you go.
looking big, bro." I'm like, thanks, man.
I think I hit you with that one.
I always look at your face at those times and I see the face light up. I go, this is what this guy lives for.
I live for extrinsic feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
We all do. We just
That's it's the equivalent of the Strava thing, I think.
We just like to pretend that we don't. I remember when I finished high school, I wrote down one thing on my list of things to do after high school. It was just get big. And I uploaded it to Facebook. And then, because I was it'd be there, 2012. You have to scroll back quite a way, but it'd be there somewhere. I uploaded it ironically, just so we're clear. But I also meant it. I meant it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a self-help, like, hey, look at me, I'm journaling. You know, it was just.
But maybe
it was just,
subconsciously it was.
no, but consciously I knew I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I also knew it'd be funny to just put that on Facebook. So it was actually about attention.
That's what they say. Yeah.
I think I do that with running, for example, when I get into the mode of like, I'm just doing it for the enjoyment, like purely think that my brain is like turns into that. And I'll be like, then something else goes, don't bullshit yourself.
No. Because as soon as you declare it.
It's like, come on, mate. Who are you trying to
I told
fool?
you that quote from Paul, like who I'm doing the book with.
Yeah.
Like, the declaration of what you are is really the declaration of what you are not.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
true.
when you tell yourself, I'm doing this. And obviously, biggest culprit's me because I'm the audience of none. You know, I'm the guy that's like, intrinsic motivation.
But there is so much truth to that, though. It's like,
yeah, it's true.
It's like,
until you start to recognize and say, yeah, I'm just doing it for internal reasons. As soon as you've said that, it's already over.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So then you listen to if you listen to me say that, right? And then you have that moment when you go, no, I'm doing it for internal reasons. But Joe said, when I say that, it's already over. But I can't see. Then you go, but I can't see how I'm not doing it for internal reasons. Like it really feels like I am. Yet it's you've already passed that point, which is quite funny. Because you just start trying to catch yourself, and it just keeps perpetuating the cycle. Whereas really, I think it's just funny that we have to tell ourselves the reason and convince ourselves of the reason and have all the little inner commentary. And you just come back to square one. The thing I want to ask about runners to you guys, I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's a very serious question. I'm a walker. I love walking.
Yeah.
Okay. So often in the places I walk, people run. And that's okay. Because everyone's different.
This is going to be a very serious question.
It's a very serious question. The fate of the world might rest on the answer, so think about it carefully. Now, I'll be on a wide open footpath, right? And someone's running. I can hear him. So I stick to the left. Because I'm slower. I'm walking, right?
Yeah.
Why do these people running, I don't know if my mind's playing tricks on me with the statistics, but I feel like most of the time they want to run past me, but really close to me. And I swear they want to be like, without saying a word to me, I don't know these people. They want me to know that they're running. Why do they run so close to me? Is that what it is?
How much room do you have on there? How much room's on the right hand side?
Like it's empty.
It's empty?
Yeah. So imagine the width of this boardroom we're in, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be walking like kind of behind your chair. They'll run up like along this line here. Yeah. Like they'll be very close.
Yeah.
And I feel like they want me to they just really want me to know that they're running. You know when someone's annoying you on the road?
Yeah.
So you just speed off like past them when you don't need to kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're just really close. But it's different because there's lanes next to each other. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm crazy.
Potentially.
I might be crazy. It might be in my head. But I feel like there's just this intensity that comes once you get in the mindset of the run. Yeah. It's like, I'm running past this person, like, yeah, they can see me running. Yeah. And then I get to the set of lights and they're, as Jerry Seinfeld, is it Jerry Seinfeld? He's like, why do they jog on the spot at the lights? You know what I mean? So they burn more carbs, like they've stopped, you know? So
that is a good one, actually.
Does any of what I say make sense? I think there's a zone. I'm assuming there's a zone. I've been a runner. I used to be okay at long distance when I was younger. Like I understand the zone and the appeal. But am I talking sense? Are you cotton on to anything I'm saying?
Definitely. I feel like it's almost like you're in a race car driver kind of mindset. you're just picking the race line, like the shortest way around someone.
Yeah, that's what it probably is. Yeah, which is so funny to me. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, or it's like when the cyclists overtake the runners. They get so close, and you're like, mate.
Well, I do like cycling.
Well, that's the first issue we're going to come back to.
Because I cycle for leisure. I don't measure. Yeah. I don't measure anything.
You don't
it's scenic. I go somewhere scenic. No, I don't do the bay run.
Head down.
Yeah. But when I'm cycling, I am very competitive with the other cyclists.
Yeah.
Even though it's just this imaginary competition.
It's the same with running. Like you'll see someone else running. Yeah. I got to beat that guy.
Because there's a bit of an issue. There's a bit of you got a story?
No, just at the bay if you're running, you're like you don't want to be too close to someone. Yeah. You'll be like, I'm either you either got me.
That's what I mean.
Or bye bye.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I hate the whole. Yeah. Because where I cycle now often is around the city, and then there's a lot of people with the There's a lot of people riding for like their work, like for Uber Eats. So they've got those bikes, they've got the little motor.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have no problems with those bikes, right? Well, I'm sitting here to you talking like a rational human being. As soon as I get on the bicycle, which I don't have that motorized, whatever that shit is. As soon as I'm on that, those people are like cheating. So I'll cycle past them because they're going slow, but then they turn on the thing and there's just this voice in my head going, you wouldn't be able to bloody get past me if you didn't have the bloody. Then the other voice comes and goes, why do I care about that? Why do I care? And then the first voice goes, shut up. Shut up, voice. Shut up.
What about when someone drives like too close to you? Does anyone else get the shits with that?
I might do that sometimes when I try to send them a message. It's like, mate, keep your distance. Are you talking about front and behind? Are you talking about behind you?
Behind you. It's like, what are you doing?
I only do that when they're going too slow and I'm trying to send them a message without honking.
So you're one of them. Yeah.
Well, sometimes sometimes I'm coming to do an important podcast interview.
Yes. Well, you've got an extra 15 minutes buffer because I'm 15 minutes late.
I do always have like a mini heart attack whenever someone's like that close to me, because when I was on my L's, someone like...
Ooh,
really?
yeah, that's not
Yeah.
going to be...
I don't remember that.
Well, you weren't there, so...
Oh, I don't remember hearing about it. I don't remember hearing
It's
about
pretty
it.
bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which car?
The BMW.
Oh.
Yeah, Ray was not pleased.
Oh,
He was
dear.
happy with me. Apparently I did well in the situation, but...
Did you swear at them or something?
When they crashed into me, they like kept driving, so I just had to slam the brakes.
This is like a bloody... it was Jason. It's like a Jason Statham movie.
100%.
Yeah, right. Anyway, what were we talking? Should we get back onto any particular topic? I think Luke's story is fascinating because you two as a pair. So did Adrian just drop off at some point because it was lad running?
Yeah.
Lad stands for Luke, Adrian, Dom. It's not a
Yeah.
They didn't-
Lad.
they
And then
didn't-
we
yeah.
had
important
we had
to clarify.
merch.
They did have
We had a
merch.
giant
Never got
Nike
merch.
TN
Yeah.
on it. Lad
Sponsored.
running, you know.
But I think you two a bit. Well, you became very fast, Luke, which I don't think we actually acknowledged.
Thank
You
you.
became very, very.
Check. You can
So I
follow me on
destroyed you-
Strava if you like.
I destroyed you at the start, but just
Yeah.
to set up the.
Boost me up.
like a
Right.
Hollywood,
Would you like me to
just
list my
exaggerating.
personal best?
You know what? Email them to me after, and I'll put them in the show.
No, I
notes.
think for
promise.
context, we need to say Dom's personal best at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No.
Dom
You have
has
to explain them
marathon.
why they're impressive too.
Shit. 2:32 mid.
It was pretty low. It was like
Low? I'm sorry.
It was like 2:32 in like 10 seconds or something, or 13 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. It's a very good marathon
So
personal
a
best.
marathon
Sorry.
is 42
42.2 kilometers. Yeah.
kilometers.
Half
and you
marathon.
ran that in 2 hours.
2 hours, 32 minutes, and low.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
I don't think I could even drive.
Which is an average of 3:35 per kilometer, I think.
Wow. That's
Pretty-
that
pretty
pace,
impressive.
That's that pace thing you're talking about.
Yeah. Pace, half marathon, 72. Oh, I've almost got you here, Dom.
72:29.
29.
Minutes.
20 seconds off. 25 seconds off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you only 25 seconds
Off that person.
behind that?
I am quite far off the marathon.
Yeah.
10K is very impressive. 32 minutes flat.
32 minutes.
Do you reckon that's your best PB? Oh, 5K. Probably
Couldn't even run the
10K 's
bay run in that
pretty
time.
good.
32 flat. Yeah. 5K
No.
is
Damn, you get longer.
15:31.
Yep.
Good times.
I read his bio at the start.
And-
The guy loves running.
And Smitty's times are all like what? Just not far off at all.
Is this a pre-rehearsed routine?
No.
I think it's
You
gotta
say
give
my times, I'll say
Gotta
yours.
give context, you know. I'm not like boosting myself up for no reason.
For a good reason.
for a great reason.
I'm
yeah.
fast. Yeah,
Very fast.
But it's
Well,
just,
and
it's
then you-
remarkable how from a, let's say a standing start, not a literal standing start. I mean, from not really having any known proficiency as a distance runner, you became
Yeah,
you put
pretty
the
good.
work in. You really got up there.
Yeah, I'd say you can really, like, with 4 or 5 years of consistent running, like you can pretty much get there. Yeah, but it is. Yeah.
Now, another thing I want to ask is about is, and again, probably Luke's story is a good example. I've been fascinated for quite a while. I think we might have even talked about it a bit on this podcast a few weeks ago. I've been fascinated by, especially the link with people who have substance, not abuse, but like issues with like drinking, drugs, I don't know, maybe smoking too, and the relationship between that and running is very fascinating. You guys know all these people better. You've had a couple of pretty like heavy interviews from memory on the pod. At least one I'm thinking of, but I don't remember the guy's name,
Yeah.
unfortunately. People opening up about those journeys. What do you know, I'll go to both of you, you can answer independently. What do you think about that? I'm assuming you notice it too. What do you think about that link, and what do you think might be the reason? To be clear, what I observe is a lot of people who have had problems with drinking and stuff often get very into running, and it seems to be while they're toning back that stuff back a lot.
Mm.
So
I think it just fills in the gap of, it kind of replaces it in a way. Like the thing that alcohol gives you that, like, definitely not in the same way, but it can sort of like fill the gap. Like it makes you feel similar after a run. Like it gives you a bit of a spike. But I'm not too sure. Like definitely a lot of the people I know in the running group have had similar stories where they've, been big drinkers or just big partiers and stuff like that. And they seem to gravitate towards, a lot of people seem to gravitate towards running. So, but I don't know, to be honest. But what do you reckon, Dom? Because you went like crazy into partying.
Yeah.
You're no worse than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not, I thought, critical or problem level at any point. So
yeah,
you might feel different, but yeah.
I think I don't know that. Like some people are just wired differently. Like they've got addictive personalities, where I don't know whether it's drinking or gambling or whatever. They just get hooked on that.
Or work.
Or work. Yeah. But running kind of gives you the routine that can break those addictions a bit. And I don't know, maybe you get addicted to running, but it's much better. And
I feel like you're with that goal, you're like working towards it, and it can be like an addictive, somewhat compulsive in a way thing, but it just replaces like, and there's very little negative physical downsides realistically. So
just spitballing here. For example, a lot of times I'd end up, let's say, going out, maybe be like Friday night, Saturday night, maybe a weeknight, and you might not have anything on. So someone says, go in the pub, because it's just like an easy, especially Australian culture. Young men, it's just like an easy way to feel. Yeah, and there's like not enough reason to say no. Yeah. Especially with something like drinking. You might just have the narrative around, I'm going to have a couple of beers. Not many, but obviously it can easily snowball. Because I guess running gives you that reason why you might not be able to, let's say, go out and drink because you're getting up at Sparrowfart in the morning.
That's a huge reason. If you
he says with delight on his face.
What do you mean? Oh, as in like I wake up
when
early.
You said that, you're like, that's a big reason.
Yeah. No, because you even more recently, I've had about 6 weeks of not like a full-on injury, but I had to take it back. I had issues with my hamstring. As soon as I had to like reduce running, those old habits can come in because you sort of say,
that's what I find interesting.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Yeah. I don't have to get up at early, and I don't have to exert myself, because if you're going running, like any form of like over 2 beers pretty much it's going to affect your run the next morning. Wow. So you have that, especially me, my weakness is still a little bit of smoking every now and then. I say that guiltily. But you just cannot be smoking and expect to run like a good time. But if that goes away, the tendency is to like, you really have to control yourself. So it's like fascinating how those habits don't just disappear even after a really long period of time. They're still there.
I think it's like that's the concept of relapse. Anyone who's suffered something tends to be more likely to get it again.
Yeah,
more easily than it. Like even cancer survivors, usually more likely to get cancer again, obviously, than most other people. Someone who's had an addiction to drinking, they often want to stay right away from it. It's very hard for them not to get fully into it again if they have a couple. It's not normally that we come back to like a total baseline like everyone else. So it's interesting that seems to be the thing in general with our vices. Yeah, like the story I'm remembering from your podcast, forget the gentleman's name, but it was early on. And Chris something. Yeah. And he was he was in a real dark place from memory from that interview.
Yeah,
he was. And then was it, I don't know, he get involved in the running community, or I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, there's a group called the 440, and on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
or-
Kill your Friday.
yeah, like,
Very conveniently picked time. Yeah.
yeah. The guy who started it, he was an addict as well.
That's
And,
right. Yeah.
The whole purpose of it was exactly that, to stop
Yeah.
people going out on a Friday night. That's a good start to your weekend. Like you're already
Yeah.
kind of done step one. And I think Chris got right into that, which helped him a lot.
That's powerful stuff. Something so simple as running. So last little chapter, if you will. What are the things that move the needle, you guys think, with, running? Obviously, there's putting in the work, but like more, is there anything like psychologically that gets in the way? Because I look at it and I look at someone, they're just running a race, but I know that you guys have there's like I don't know, strategy. There's like timing, how hard to go out, how hard to.
How long
There's
you
all
got,
that
mate?
stuff. Well, obviously, I'm curious about the entry level. Yeah, I mean, thinking about that, because from the outside, I don't know. To me, as a non-runner, it just looks like running.
Yeah. But I think I'll let Dom summarize. But I think I'd be curious to get your take on writing, because it's probably very similar. Like people think you just write. You know what I mean? Sit down to write.
Yeah.
It's probably like a similar structure. But what do you reckon, Dom?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, without getting too.
It's impossible. You have to get into detail.
Okay, speak about yourself personally.
Okay.
Do you have to, in the lead up to a race, like day of the race or whatever? Is there something specific? Are there specific things you need to think about based on the race and the length and all that?
I think in the immediate term before the race, like 1 or 2 days, it's anxiety management, realistically. Like the work's been done. You're sort of tapering. So you're like, tapering means you're just pulling back your mileage during that week to get your legs fresh. But yeah, do you you have any rituals? I probably should know this by now. After 72 podcast episodes.
You guys to get to know each other.
Got into a lot of meditation and hypnosis. Which
There you go.
Nice.
See, this is what I was tapping at.
It's pretty much like just
I didn't know this.
meditation, but on a deeper kind of level.
Yep.
Or not even, just more specific.
Okay.
But yeah, I do a lot of that, visualization.
Is that just immediately? In immediate proximity to a race, or you're regularly doing that?
Nah, mostly just around a race.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit too much of a commitment to do all the time.
I'd say so.
Yeah. What is it? Is it a guided one? Use an app or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of browse around and look for something that's kind of related to what I'll be doing.
Yeah, okay.
And usually it's positive affirmations. I don't know. I feel like people often say you've run the race already 100 times in your head before you actually run it, and that's how you can succeed. But I think that kind of helps a lot to kind of make sure when you get on the start line you're already in a good mood and you're ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think
so. There is a bit of something to it.
There is, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good fucking question, Joe.
No, it's a good question. Definitely a good question. I just know that the rabbit hole that we could both.
Of course.
You talk about training.
Yeah, training. You want to know what the typical training week looks like?
You could start a running podcast.
Yeah. I can give you a good structure to go from 0 kilometers to start our own couch to.
But it gets to the point. I feel like both me and Spinny now, we've run really fast times. So you start looking at all this outside stuff to find a little.
Diminishing returns. You're 1% of times. Okay.
And the hardest thing at this point is to get faster. It's a very input. You've got you just need to do your 2 sessions and a long run and build the mileage. But it's life gets in the way, and that's
life.
I know, life. You just want to have the perfect training block, and you're get everything else.
I think this might be what he was talking about with the getting too into it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
You would recognise that line very clearly.
Gets in the way of
Does
running.
life get in the way of running, or does running sometimes get in the way of life?
I don't want to hear about that.
Just let me mindlessly.
This is where it
run.
divulges into am I taking this too far? But I will choose.
It's hard though, because like, you know, you work so hard to run like that time.
Yeah.
And to run better than that, you're going to have to even work like even harder.
Yeah. I saw this thing.
So,
do you follow
Fine. When's it enough?
No, it's never enough.
Never.
This is a compulsive. This is a compulsive element of. It's like. I don't know. It's built in.
Everything's the same though, because I think about, we just started doing this podcast again, right?
Yeah.
And I go, oh yeah, the podcast, but changed it a little bit. Blah blah. I'm gonna do this, gonna do that. And you start planning in your head, like, oh yeah, how to all the stuff could be done. Then I go, oh hang on, I still got to, write, do my job. I still got it. And then you're like, oh, how much? So it's like everything where it's hard to fully optimize stuff.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you have to always draw a line somewhere, but maybe that's part
when
of the
life
fun.
gets in the way, I don't know.
Luke's just like, how can I get life out of the way so I can become faster?
I feel like I need to clarify that, but I'm just going to leave it
You can see how... No, you don't need to clarify anything.
Luke's motto, life gets in the way.
Don't let life get in the way.
You should start a business. If you ever start a business, that should be your motto.
Yeah. Don't let life get in the way.
Just have all the employees every Monday morning.
Running and my business.
Don't let life get in the way.
Don't let life get in the way.
After me.
We're working towards this goal.
We're working towards a mission.
Don't even worry about enjoying the process. Get it done.
It's a friend of mine who you guys both know. You had him on the podcast, but he was telling me about I just saw him mention his name to implicate anything, but the employee, he had this employee, and they had a bit of a disagreement, and the employee said to him at one point, he goes, you're trying too hard to make everyone happy. You know what I mean? Like, just be successful. Then everyone will be happy. You know what I mean? Like, you've got it the wrong way around. Just like think about what you talk about. Don't worry about enjoying the process. Just win. Then you'll be happy. Winning. Anyway.
I'm going to clarify life getting in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome to.
What I meant was, no. But in all seriousness, it's I'm not. Never.
All things
mind.
in moderation.
I'm gonna leave it.
You don't need to clarify anything. It's your life.
I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah. So beautiful. Any closing thoughts or remarks, Dom? Maybe you can scull the rest of your boot glass water. That'd be quite a moment.
Closing. I don't know. Do you want to talk about training programs?
No, we're not that detailed. But they can learn about training programs. I bet.
Yeah. So
the With the Chiefs podcast available on
YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
Wow. Good podcast.
Yeah.
There you go. You will now get an extra 13 viewers thanks to this incredibly sized audience. So there you go.
We should start doing episodes on Taleb.
Come back to Taleb. Well, Taleb talks a lot about exercise as a metaphor for anti-fragility. So I guess we mentioned his name, so I can put him in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Put him in the thumbnail. Put just a big photo of Taleb. It's just
in running gear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Dom, for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We all learnt something, and thanks for coming. Good luck.
We do our motto.
What's the motto?
Stay strong.
Oh, that's your motto. Yeah, you guys do it.
Fast.
And stay fast.
All right, beautiful.